Hello, everybody.
I know this probably looks so strange to everyone.
Welcome to another edition of what show are we again?
I think we're the Star Wars. Should I try to do it in the David version?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, welcome to the Star Wars Stuff podcast, where we talk about all things Star Wars. I'm Mary.
I'm Craig Five, and before we start off, we have to list all those Patreon members, supporters. There you go.
Liam McCallion, Kevin Lane, what? Devin McCaffrey, Zach
Jack
Netzel,
Netzel,
Mima,
Adam Haber.
Adam Front Row King, Cam from Indiana, some
That's
chick named
you.
Mary,
Alex
Rest
Blundell
Jedi, Indiana Solo, BC
and
Dumit, and
Sean
Sean
Smith,
Smith.
and we missed some others.
I know. This is probably why we're not allowed to do this without David. Also, we want to say thank you to Legion Sabers, who are a sponsor of the show. Use our code stuff at checkout and get a good discount on top of the great discounts they already do.
All
Uh,
right.
okay, so Craig and
We're,
I wanted to come on and have a quick chat because Craig got to do something very fun yesterday.
I took a nap.
You
Oh,
took a nap.
oh, I saw Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, how did you get to see it early?
Top secret, inside
Oh,
sources.
no gatekeeping. No
No,
gatekeeping.
that's for, podcast crew members only. I can't
Chat
divulge
only.
that here, but
Well,
I did get
you're
to go to a premiere.
nice. How was it?
It was really cool. They did some things right that I really appreciated. It was at Point Orlando, and it's a massive IMAX theater. It's where I saw
Nice.
Revenge of the Sith. It was where I saw Rogue One. It's a big, big IMAX theater. And, I knew the showing was at 7 o'clock, and it was like they overbook it
Mhm.
because in case people don't show up. And there was a lot of members of press from, there was about 330 seats in this theater. And I think
Nice.
said about 100, a little bit more than 100 were for press only,
That makes
and,
sense.
and influencers, which is just bizarre that we are not like towards the top of that. We have one of the
You
highest ranking Star Wars podcasts.
I agree to an extent. So here's how I view it, right? It's marketing. It's all marketing, right? The movie hasn't come out yet. They want to market this. I feel like this goes back to like what we were saying months ago is like why are they not marketing it yet? And I feel like now they've condensed a year's worth of marketing into like 2 to 3 weeks. So now they're like renting out these theaters for advanced screenings for influencers, press, media, etc., all those things. So that way they can market it out and stuff. So they're only going to invite people like it's a service they're paying for, right? They're paying through an experience to get a review, something that is going to be favorable to try to sell tickets
Sure.
and stuff. I
I
like to
blame
think
David.
that
I think it's David.
I don't think it's David. I think
I'm
we like to
kidding.
share our
I know
opinion.
it's David.
Stop it. I think we like to share our opinion and stuff. And I think we are not a marketing team. I will say this, like a lot of the people who are invited to these experience, I know there's some like backlash of like, well, they're just influencers, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, but they also have a platform based around the fandom.
But
They
you know what?
love Star Wars
If
just as
you
much as
go
we do.
if you go on X and you look at what is being said, anybody that gave a positive review of this movie, they're getting trashed. You're a shill. You're only saying this because they invited you there, and so the whole idea of it's getting a lot of pushback. So I
Yeah.
think Disney needs to be open with inviting even the negative people as well as the positive people. I think
Yeah.
if you don't, then nobody takes it seriously. And the overwhelming amount of people, and now the backlash on this movie, it's pretty rough. It's pretty
Mhm.
rough. And I'm going to say, let's just lead this with this. I was very disheartened last week when I heard something about this movie that I was hoping was going to happen. I don't. I'll leave it vague. Let's just say it was kind of tied to, where we are in the storyline. That I think
Yeah.
the not as encapsulated into the story of Mandalorian and Grogu. I figured it was be more connected to what's going on in the universe, right? And there's
Mhm.
some of that. There's a hint of that, but for overall, like I was very disheartened, thinking, okay, this one thing that I was really hoping would happen is not going to happen.
You know, well, okay, let's start with this. No
Discouraged from the get.
spoilers. We're not going to spoil anything for
I'm
anybody.
not going to give any spoilers, but I was
No.
very discouraged when I heard that. So my expectations were low.
I do remember that last week when we talked on the pod, right?
Yeah. So, let me lead off by saying I really enjoyed this movie in a lot of ways.
Wow. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start here. Um Last week when you were a little disheartened by
Yeah.
what you heard and what you were expecting, what would you have given that score? What score would you have given to it at that mental state that you were in a week ago?
I that's a tough question to answer. Are you saying my
What
enthusiasm
did
score?
what would you expect the score to be? So let's say like last week you saw the movie with the information you had and stuff and you were disheartened. You expected the movie to be like a 5 out of
Probably
10. You
like a
expect
5.
okay, and then now that you've seen the movie and you've enjoyed it, what score
I'll
do you give it?
I'll say it's probably around an 8.
Wow, that's 3 points is a big jump, Craig.
Yeah. It I really it's a lot of action, is a
Nice.
lot of monsters, which we've heard. I'm not giving anything away.
Yes.
And it's true. It's true.
Okay.
If I had to describe the closest movie it feels like out of all the Star Wars movie, I would say Solo, because
I
Solo
love
was
Solo.
also encapsulated. It wasn't so much about everything going on in the timeline and this big galactic, conflict, right? It was more encapsulated, right? So that's why I would say that. Uh,
Okay.
so a Mandalorian version of Solo. Now, what I think they were trying to do was they were trying to make it more to get a lot of new people interested in Star Wars,
Nice. I
right?
was going to ask that.
But I think they pushed that too hard. I think they could have added, I have an idea. I'm not going to say it, for one scene at the end of the movie that could have made it more like, okay, you just went on this great big adventure. Oh, here's a little teaser about what's to come. And they didn't really do that. So they
Yeah.
could have given us a little bit at the end where it was like, oh, now I'm excited to see where we're going as well. And I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't.
So I guess like one of the questions I was going to ask you is do you feel like this movie was made for fans or do you feel like this movie was made to create fans?
Okay.
Like the sense of
Is this
bringing
question number
back.
1?
This is question number 1. So we're going
Okay.
to do rapid fire non-spoiler questions. Maybe
Okay.
not
Do I
rapid
think
fire.
this was made for the fans?
Yeah.
It definitely was not made for the hardcore fans. It was definitely not for the hardcore fans. Do I think
Okay.
hardcore fans can like it? Yes. As long as you are just going in with the understanding of it's not this big galactic war going on, that it's more of a Mandalorian side quest adventure,
Okay.
I think they will enjoy it.
So it's a
But I
story
think
all
there's
its
going to be a
own.
lot of negativity already towards this movie.
Really?
Well, I think
Just because
before
it's
it's even
not
out.
continuing the so here's my understanding is I thought this movie was a piece of the Mandoverse of connectivity to bring in Ahsoka, Rebels, everyone, what's happening in that timeline and
No,
stuff like that. No, okay,
no,
wild.
not a,
Um,
not hardly at all. We know Zeb is in the movie. He's got a
yeah.
decent part in the movie, not a huge part. A decent role, a decent sized role. Um, I would say probably Rada has a bigger role in this movie, and Rada's awesome. He's
Oh.
great.
So out of
He's
the
really
characters that
great.
we know are in the movie, out of the characters that we know that are in the movie, who would you say is your favorite? Rada?
Well, because he was new and it's like this character you've never, well, I mean, we knew him when he was a baby or whatever. I would say, yeah, it was cool. I wouldn't say that I like him better than Din Djarin or Grogu, but I really
Okay.
liked him. And I really liked Zeb.
Okay.
Um,
I was like,
but
live action Zeb seems very cool.
he was good. He was
Okay.
good. I was happy with Zeb. I'm not like a crazy Rebels fan or a crazy
Okay.
Zeb fan, but that being said, I enjoyed what they did with him.
Okay. Zach in Japan. Hi, Zach. Wants to know.
Definitely the IMAX. Absolutely the IMAX. There's no question about it. I saw it in this amazing IMAX screen in Orlando. I won't see it if it's not an IMAX. It was great on the IMAX screen. Totally agree.
So Alex says that they thought Solo was a terrible movie. Are you comparing it to Solo in the sense of like it's its own story or the way
Yes.
that the movie's shot? Okay.
I'm
So that you
saying
can
out of all the movies you're going to compare it to, like with you have the original trilogy, the sequels, the prequels, those are like grand things where it's like
yeah.
massive war and stuff like that. And it's not quite like that. It's like a big adventure for the Mandalorian characters.
Okay. Okay, so here, are you ready for my next question?
Sure.
Do you think this is going to bring back the Grogu craze that we saw after season 1?
Possibly. He's not, I mean, he's Grogu is very cute. He's not as cute as like Lilo and Stitch made like $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
And I think that Grogu is very cute in this movie.
Okay.
Um, what the is he Anzellans? Is that what they are? What's their
The little guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, they seem funny. They seem
they're
like the comic
funny.
relief.
They
Okay.
they're cute. They're funny. They're
I
enjoyable.
know Disneyland, I don't know if Walt Disney already has these, but they have them as the shoulder buddies already, where you can get
I
the
think people are
Enzellin
gonna
as the
really
shoulder
like them.
buddy. Yeah.
They're very cute.
Okay.
Do I think maybe the movie was probably about 10 minutes too long. Like I think it will be like I'm gonna bring my daughter. I'm bringing Jenna on Thursday,
Oh, you're already
and
answering my
I,
next question if you're going to
I,
see it again.
yes, I'm gonna go see it again on Thursday on an IMAX screen again, and I think that she'll enjoy it. But I think if it was a little bit shorter, it would have been a little bit better for her.
Okay.
There's a lot of action up front. There it kind of there slows down a little bit, but it makes sense to what's happening in the story.
Okay. I know I saw some reviews saying like the first half of it moves really quickly. And then and it's very much like the last part of it slows down a lot kind of thing. Um to really work out the pace. So was there ever a point where you're like, "Oh my gosh, this movie should have ended like
No,
20 minutes ago," or were you
no,
like
I was
really
enjoying
engulfed?
it. I was
Okay.
enjoying the experience of watching a Star Wars movie in the theater. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Do you think I think this is the $1,000,000 question. Do you think this is going to motivate Disney to do more Star Wars movies or more Star Wars shows?
I don't I don't necessarily think they even know
Yeah.
because I think that what we're seeing now, and it's now that John Favreau and Dave Filoni are in more interviews, Disney was like, "You have something we could put out for Star Wars movies. There's not going to be a Star Wars movie for 7 years. What do you have that with Mandalorian and Grogu?" They took season 4. They didn't like it as a movie. They redid something else. And so I don't think they're going to necessarily know one way or the other yet. I feel like this was a project that they've been working on for years, and
Mhm.
now they're kind of starting fresh with newer things. So I wouldn't say one way or the other yet. If kids really like this movie, which I think that they
Yeah.
could, it could mean a big spike in sales and toys and stuff like that. So I think
Okay.
it's gonna depend upon how much kids really like this movie.
So Alexander says Disney already out put the plan in motion to make Star Wars movies because they have Starfighter coming out next Memorial Day. Very true. But I feel like Starfighter is its like weird own project and stuff. And I don't know. I think this is like here's the weird thing. I think people are gonna really be upset with Mando and Grogu based off of the fact that it's its own story. But everyone's also really excited for Starfighter because it's its own story and stuff. So I'm really curious, like for me personally, I did not have an expectation and stuff. So I'm curious why there's this really big split in the fandom when it's like, yeah, I'm really excited for Starfighter because it's going to be new versus Mando. There's like a little bit of backlash already in the reviews.
Well, I think because everybody doesn't want to see a standalone adventure. They want to see a galactic, massive battle with huge implications. They want to see, I think a lot of people want to see what's going to happen. They're hoping that we see the original trilogy characters and
Mm,
Ahsoka characters and Grand
yeah.
Admiral Thrawn and stuff like that. Which I think Filoni has to really seriously consider. You can't just be in that timeline and not have those characters. It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I feel like he has this reputation of fan service, right? That's his big thing. He gives the fans what they want, which is amazing. But also then now there's the question of like, is are we just gonna keep saying Ahsoka because it's his favorite? When are we gonna like learn more about and like fill in gaps and hear new stories in the universe? So I think he knows that there's that perception of him, and he tries to really tote the line of balancing giving us fan service versus giving us something new and creative and original
Yeah.
and stuff. And that's why for me, at least so far for what I know, because I've not seen the movie yet. I see it Thursday night. But getting Zeb, getting Rada, that's the fan service. Getting
Well,
the
Rana
Angelus,
isn't real.
that's the fan
I would
service.
disagree and say Rada's not really fan service.
If you're a Clone Wars kid,
I'm a
it
Clone Wars
definitely
fan, but you don't really care about Rada. He was in
Stinky.
one movie.
No, I really
Nah, I
loved
don't think
that
that's fan
arc.
service.
No, you know what? Me and Zach would totally team up against you on this one because Rada's story arc is what leads Ahsoka and Anakin into seeing like these kids and like force sensitive children getting kidnapped, then which continues on like
I
that
know that
story.
it's cool, and I'm not disagreeing. I saw the Clone Wars movie in the theater, but I'm saying most people don't care about Rada the Hutt,
Yeah.
but they will after this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, you okay. Let me see if I can get this
I
picture.
I took a pic. Yeah, this is a picture of the event, and this is just part of the line. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect. Part of me was thinking it's going to be dead, and part of me thinking it was going to be packed. So I know they said I actually talked to the event coordinator, and she said that about 60 people couldn't get in. Now, what I did like about this event that I mentioned earlier is they made sure there was not one empty seat. They literally went and made sure that there every seat that was open, somebody raised their hand and said, "Okay, there's an empty seat here." So everybody that could sit was able to sit. They didn't do like they do it, some of the celebrations where the third of the
Yeah.
seats are empty. Everybody that could sit got to seat.
Sorry, I don't know how to
Like
add a picture. We're gonna have to
okay.
wait till next week when we do it with David.
I suppose I could just kind of show it.
Yeah,
Uh,
do that.
so if you
I
kind
will.
of,
I'll say
if
this.
you,
So
the
I've been
line
invited.
goes all the way here, all the way up the stairs to the top, and then
Nice.
there's probably like, well, actually, there was probably about 30 people in front of me, but I bet there was about 100 people behind me in the
Mm-hmm.
line, and I was upstairs.
That's pretty cool. So like, I really love that they're taking advantage and like people got the opportunity. So you already like what's nice is yes, like 100 seats were for influencers and marketing and press and et cetera and all those things. But they also left space for people who were fans who were trying to find a way to get in, right? You were able to get in and stuff like that. And you got a poster.
I got a poster, a
Can I have it?
two-sided poster.
That's nice. That's really
Yep.
nice.
I'm selling it for $53,000.
I was gonna say, Craig, can I have it?
Or for James to admit that he hates Last Jedi.
He will never admit that because it's
well,
not
that well,
true.
good.
He
Then I'm going to
loves
keep
that
this poster.
movie. I don't think he wants a poster that bad.
He'll do it. He'll do it.
What was I going to say? So I've been very lucky in the past to be invited to advanced screenings for like press and write reviews and things like that. For a website that we partner with and stuff that are good friends of ours. and everything. And I will say this, when I go to those theaters and those like screenings and stuff, pretty darn empty and stuff. So
Packed.
that's
This was
really
packed.
nice to hear.
There
It's
was not an
really
empty seat
nice.
there. I guarantee it. They stood there. They stood on the walkway for a long time, and they made sure. And they said, and they kept announcing anybody seats, any other seats. Raise your hand if you have any seats.
Yeah, that's really good. I will say this to Alexander's question, how much money do you think the Mando movie will make? It already passed what they were expecting in pre-sale.
Okay, Alex. Here's why it's going to be tough. If I was to say this is strictly on the Star Wars fans and the fans that are kind of like already bashing it without seeing it, I would say 400 to 500 million. Now, because Grogu is so cute, and this could be a big Star Wars movie like Lilo and Stitch,
And
I
it's
wouldn't
Memorial Day weekend.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went way higher. It's it's a
Yeah.
good, fun Star Wars action movie, but it's not a big galactic civil war, right? We don't have Jedi and Sith in this thing. This is about Mandalorian and Grogu, and if you like them and you like the characters, I think you'll like this movie.
So like one
Way
thing I've
better
been
than season
hearing.
3, by the way. Way better than season 3.
That's I was gonna ask that. Jeez, you're just thinking ahead of me. You're just
Yeah,
reading my mind. We're so connected right now, Craig.
that's right.
Um, I
What am I
was
thinking
gonna
right now?
what? What are you
Never
thinking right now? You're thinking of the color blue.
mind.
You're thinking, "Where's James?" so that I can get him to admit he does not like The Last Jedi. There it is, James. There's the offer. One poster. Um, Sell your soul for a poster, my dude.
And then
Okay.
as soon as he admits it, I rip the poster up. Ah!
You totally would. You so would. That's so awful. Anyways, um, I was gonna say, I know with like season
David's
3
probably
and stuff
watching
like
this
that.
podcast right now, shaking his head like, "What have I done? What all of our hard work, all of it gone."
No, he's probably thinking like, "Oh, Mary and Craig should just do this more often on their own."
We're
But
kind
we'll
of like
practice
the
the
kids
intro.
when the parents go off.
Yes, 100%. We'll
The kids
practice the
go
intro
home.
more, David, I promise. Um, but yeah, after like season 3, I think they lost a lot of fans. But I agree
Gosh.
with you that this movie is not just for fans. I think between it being Memorial Day weekend, so everyone's going to have Monday off, people are going to be going out on the weekend. At least here in California, weather's really nice and stuff. So people are going to be out and going to the theater. All my local AMC's sold out
There's
and
gonna
stuff.
be a lot of people that don't like this movie. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"I'm mad because it doesn't have to do with what's going on in the timeline and all those things," and I get it. It's true. That being said, I still enjoyed it. Will I
That's
watch
really
it
good.
all the time? No. I might watch it every once in a while, but I don't, like, watch Solo
That's
all the time.
that's a big thing for you because I feel like every time we have these conversations about the movies, your rewatch movies and your comfort ones are the original trilogy
I
and
watch
stuff.
Revenge of the Sith a lot. I watch, Mandalorian season 2 a lot, Clone Wars season
Yeah.
7,
So
um,
you have yours that you really love
Rogue
and stuff
One.
like that. So to even say, so for let me tell you guys this. If Craig is saying he's willing to rewatch it, it's worth seeing at least once in the theater. And I will always stand on this platform. If you go support a movie, even if you're not that excited about it, even if you think like, oh, I'm not going to like every single part of it. And I understand everyone works really hard for their money and stuff, and life is not easy. But eventually, all that keeps encouraging these studios, actors, directors, producers to keep making movies. And eventually, you're going to get this movie that is amazing to everything you want because they
It's
do listen. They listen to the
I
fans.
there are things that I would definitely do different. I've said that
Yeah.
right up front. I said I wish this was tied more to what was going on in the galaxy. And had
Yeah.
they done that, I would have given this a higher score. But
To go from a
even
5 to 8 is good though. That's
but
really good.
even that, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of action. There was some humor. There was some heart to it. I think people are going to be surprised with Rada the Hutt, and how cool he is.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I love Jeremy Allen White. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm excited to see it on Thursday.
Any
Um,
other questions? What
you
any
answered all of
questions
mine
from the viewers?
preemptively. Um, she was Fortnite 10 minutes of the movie. uh, uh, uh. No, it feels like Alexander and Zach just had a really nice combo with each other.
Oh.
So I'm happy we brought you two together, Alexander and Zach. Enjoy your newfound friendship via Star Wars Stuff podcast.
To
Um,
me, the biggest miss on this is that they didn't just have one scene towards the very end of the movie where they wrapped it up and they said, "Oh, this is something hinting at something that's going on in the universe." They did not do that. It's like I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm very
then
cautious.
don't say it. Then don't say it.
It's not really a spoiler, it's more of a non-spoiler. It's just take whatever you think might happen about what's going on in the universe and lower that. It's very encapsulated into what's going on. Now, it does relate, but it's very low. It's not like
So I think what I'm taking away from this, from a friend to a friend, and who's seen it and someone who's excited to see it, is walk into this theater understanding it is a movie and a story about these characters and just them. And if I go in and understanding, like, if I'm here to see Mando and Grogu and their little adventure, I'm going to enjoy this.
I think so. If you like the show, I think you'll like this.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
it's it's tough because there's so much negativity right now and about Star Wars, and I'm always pretty blunt
Just
about
a
certain
little.
things. About
Just a
certain
little.
things. But like I said, I think this movie may have been a little bit long for kids. I
For
think it's gonna
kids.
for kids.
Attention span.
Mm-hmm.
What's the youngest you would take to see this movie?
I mean, I would take a 2-day-old baby. I mean,
Stop it. Someone that so the youngest that would take to enjoy it and not be like, mom, dad.
that's tough because kids are different at that age. Some kids can
Mm.
watch it, and some kids don't have the attention span. So
Ooh.
it's hard for me to say. I think Jenna will do pretty good, but I think maybe during the middle she might start to get kind of antsy and a little talkative,
Squirmy.
but we'll see.
So I'll say this, El Capitan, where I'm gonna go see it on Thursday, the 7:30 sold out. They added 2 extra showings and stuff to compensate for the demand and stuff.
I don't know.
So
This is one of those things where I think Disney put too many people out there, too many influencers that aren't going to say much negative about it. But will say that the negative reviews that I saw, I thought were harsh. Right? Like,
mm,
I'm not saying that there isn't some criticism to it, but some of the stuff I'm reading, I'm like, "Eesh, this is way too harsh."
yeah.
Like, it was not. Yeah, I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Go into it with Solo mindset.
Okay.
Did you like Solo? Did you like that Solo was this own little story? Not so
Yeah.
much like, is it
The story
structurally the
itself.
same or
Yeah.
something like that, but did you like that Solo was its own kind of separate adventure? If you kinda
Um,
look at it like that, and you like Mando and Grogu, and you think Grogu's cute, and I put on green for Grogu today,
cute. Very cute.
um, it's pretty solid. Now, yes, it's tough because you got a character that doesn't
Yeah.
really talk, one that's under a helmet most of the time, and so how do you make a lot of character development with that?
Yeah. Well, so one thing I wanted to ask personally was, one thing that I heard is the Grogu puppet and animatronic feels very fake and takes you out of the story because you look at it and you get that uncanny valley feeling with him and stuff. Did you ever feel that at any point, or was it
No.
very like very natural and realistic, like the way he moved and things
I
like
never
that?
felt like that one time, but I never
Oh,
felt like
cool.
that watching the show either.
Sorry,
I
yeah, I didn't feel
suppose
it
it's
with the
com
show.
huh?
I didn't feel it with the show. I think a lot of that backlash is coming from all the press stuff that's happening with the animatronic, because obviously it's shot for like in the moment, quick release and stuff, and like social media and shot on phone. So every time they bring the Grogu animatronic out, obviously it's not touched up the way it would be in the movie and stuff. So it gives a little bit of that, like, this feels very fake. It's taking me out of the story kind of thing. And that's where people's concern came in with watching the movie with this animatronic.
Can I tell you there was one thing that took me out of the movie that I don't think is really a spoiler?
Ooh,
Um,
text it to me first, real
okay, I'm gonna
fast.
text it to you, and you tell me,
I'll tell
uh
you if it's safe to say or not, because I'm okay with spoilers. I will take the brunt of the spoiler to not spoil it for everybody else.
it's not too much of a spoiler.
No, I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's expected at this point.
That's the okay, so what I was telling Mary, if you absolutely don't wanna hear a spoiler, plug your
Come
ears,
back later.
come back later.
Come
I'm
back in
gonna
5
give you a
seconds.
heads up. I don't think it's that big of a spoiler. It's a character we have seen before on The Mandalorian, so I'm gonna give
Mhm.
you a moment.
You know what? I think I, like, saw the clip of this today too, where it's like, "Oh, they're in the background," kinda thing.
Yeah, Dave Filoni shows up, and that takes me out of the movie more than anything.
Interesting, because, like, "Hey, there's Dave." Like,
Yeah,
he's
it
his
that
his
was the
life is just
only
an own
thing that took
character.
me out, is that,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like now it's like it'd be like you see George Lucas as a character in it.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. You see him a couple of times where he's, like, flying. I don't remember what type of,
He
aircraft
was
it
an
was. It
X-wing
was
maybe?
like, yeah, or a Y-wing, I can't remember anymore, but then you also see him, where he's sitting at the bar
That's
and
the
stuff
scene where it
behind.
really took me out. I'd
Okay.
rather that not be in there.
Yeah.
I'd rather it not be in there. Dave, if you wanna be in there, put on an alien mask and
It feels like Stan Lee, you know? Stan Lee made cameos and everything, but he did it in a funny way
yeah,
kinda
but those
thing.
cameos were, like, so quick, but
Yeah.
this one was it's n I don't wanna
Oh, it's
see Dave
substantial.
it's not some it just I don't wanna see Dave Filoni as a character. Sorry, Dave, I love you, but it takes me out of the movie. It takes me out of enjoying the characters a little too much.
You know what's funny is because I wanna say it's because he's just too recognizable as a person, but so is Pedro Pascal. So is Sigourney
And
Weaver,
it's like
right?
I'll say this, it's like
But
this
he's
with
not
some
an
of the
actor.
it's like some of the other X-Wing fighters too. There were some
Mm,
other X-Wing fighters, we've seen them before, I'm not gonna spoil it, but we've seen these characters before, like, you know who like some of the producers are and stuff like that, directors, right?
gotcha.
So you're seeing them, and it just I'm like, "Nah, I don't want my X-Wing fighters to be guys that I know who they are." No, Scorsese was
You
great, his
gotta
character
you
was
gotta
great.
read the question, Craig.
Well, everybody can see it, I'm assuming, so did
But we
Scorsese
have
take me out?
listeners. Not everyone watches us. You gotta
Sorry.
say it for the audio listeners. That's so funny. Um,
No, his character was really good. It didn't take me out. Dave's took me out more.
it's because
But, it's
he's not an actor. Again, like Scorsese also can act, you know? I don't know if Dave
his
Filoni can
character is
act.
pretty cool. It's pretty like it's not in a major part to the movie. He does
Yeah.
show up a few times,
Oh,
uh,
cool.
but he's funny. It's comedic relief. It's kinda funny. It's cute.
I love it. I feel very well prepared for this movie now, and I think that's the biggest thing we wanted to give people because there are so many reviews coming out. And I know there is always this question of like, can I trust these advanced reviews? Because it is marketing and that's totally fine. It's a business. That's what's supposed to happen and stuff. So we got an insider, our very own Craig 5, to be able to give us this and stuff. And I think walking away from this, me personally, I feel very prepared for this movie with the realistic expectations so I can go and enjoy it.
I will say that a lot of the promotional stuff was very early in the movie.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it. Now, granted, I haven't looked too much the last couple weeks because it's been too overwhelming. But like the snow stuff, that's like very, very, very early in the movie.
Okay.
I suppose I could say we could talk about the bounty hunter.
No, save it.
He's in the trailer.
I know, but save it. Save it for when we podcast this weekend after we've all watched it.
Well, I'll just say that I thought it was really cool what they did with it.
Okay. Okay.
I liked
I
it.
like that.
It was
I like
cool.
that. The
Yeah.
bounty hunter is what? Okay, I like that. All right, I'm excited for
What's his
that.
name again?
Embo.
Embo. I liked what they did with Embo.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
cool. He was.
See, he's another fan service character.
I'll say this. I think they did a cooler job of bringing Embo to life than Cad Bane.
Wild.
How's
Because
that?
Cad Bane, I mean, okay, I was a little off put with
He didn't
Cad
look
Bane's
right.
like color. Yeah, there's just something a
The
little
eyes or
off.
something and the nose. So
For
Cad
me, it was the
Bane
color. The
and
color
yeah,
wasn't vibrant enough.
and he looked the color and he looked maybe I don't know, something looked off about Cad Bane. I
He
think they
looked like
did
he
a
had the
better
flu.
job of bringing Embo to life. I have zero complaints about how Embo looked. He was
Very
pretty
cool.
cool.
Okay,
And he
I
was
love that.
formidable. He was formidable.
I extra love that.
Yeah.
I'm
He
very
was tough.
excited. Now
He
the
was
question
cool.
is, what am I going to wear? What to wear to the movie? Something
Probably
extra.
like the Embo hat.
Yes,
Probably.
so I won't block anybody. It's like flat enough, kind of thing. Okay, so
If you're a Star Wars fan and you I say try and open your mind to it and just say, let me go see if I'm going to enjoy this. If you don't, you don't. I
yeah.
did. And I really was disappointed the other day when I learned something about it. But that being said, I'm looking forward to taking my daughter on Thursday.
That's nice. That's really nice. I'm very curious if I'm gonna see it twice in the theaters. So I'm seeing it at El Capitan, which is not a IMAX. Um, so I do think I want to go see it a second time in IMAX and stuff just to get the full experience. So we will see. Okay.
I totally realize that I'm running late. I have to wrap up. I apologize for that.
I was trying to get us out of here earlier.
All right, I'm sorry.
I know.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Real fast. Where's the outro? David, where are you? All right. Places you can find us. Instagram, Star Wars Stuff Pod, Twitter Stuff Pod. Do people even actually call it? Bye, Craig.
Bye.
People don't even call it X, right? You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Threads. We have a Patreon. It's a lot of fun. You can get some special content on there. Sometimes I like to go to the Disney parks and get content for everybody. So if you are interested in that, we've got a TikTok. We've got an email that leads directly to David, so you can send him really weird questions. We've got Facebook. Also, if you're going to Star Wars Celebration, there is a Star Wars Celebration Facebook page that David helps run a little bit. You can write us a review, but only if it's 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, we are not the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. We're something else. And then we've got a website where James writes some really great articles whenever we get to do some experiences, go to cons, etc. Lastly, if you are in San Antonio, we will all 5 of us be at SpaceCon from the 12th to the 14th. So come find our booth, come say hello, hit us up. We're probably going to be hanging out in the area too. We always love to say hi. All right. So for me, Craig, the rest of the Star Wars Stuff podcast, thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button.